Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Royal Enfield Classic 500. It looks just like something that comes out of the 40s, something like that. Oh, nearly fell into that puddle. Cut, take two. Now it looks like something that's just come out of the 1940s. I mean, the styling is spot on, really, isn't it? Yet it does have some modern features. It has an electronic fuel injection engine. It's a 500cc single cylinder, so it's a bit of a thumper. And it's got ABS as well. So yeah, front and rear discs. So yeah, it's very old school looking, and riding it as well is also very old school, which we'll get onto shortly. So here's a closer look at the engine. There you go. And yeah, you'll notice this. A Kickstarter. That's not just for show either. You can actually kickstart it. I might try that in a bit. Yeah, then you got this big, long, sweeping exhaust right down there with a pea shooter end. Which, yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, really. So yeah, very nicely styled indeed. Now, I notice here you've got the rear shock there. Then there's also some support under the seat there. I'm not sure how much of that is just for show or if it's for function, but riding along up here, it was a little bit hard, but yeah, I wasn't really expecting a comfortable ride off one of these. They've even put this nice classic touch on the mirror. Assholes in mirror are closer than they appear. Controls are all basic stuff. Horn, indicators, high beam, low beam. That's a choke. How does that work on an EFI? I think that's just a fast idle switch dressed up to look like a choke lever. Flash headlight there. And on this side it's just the kill switch and the starter switch. That's it. And here is the dials. Very nice looking, very basic though. So yeah, you got the speedometer with miles per hour on the outside, kilometers per hour on the inside. Then you got the, I'll turn it on. Yeah, you got the neutral light indicator and various other warnings there, and then fuel light and ABS warning light and engine light. So yeah, nothing, no fancy computers or trip gauges or anything. In fact, there isn't even a trip counter on this. It is just literally the odometer. That's it. So yeah, very basic stuff on this machine. So, what is it like to ride? Now, I've not really ridden a single cylinder before, unless you count, I think, two-stroke Squash's GP100. That would have been a single cylinder, but that was also two-stroke. This will be my first four-stroke single cylinder, larger capacity bike that I'll be riding. Anyway, let's take it on the road and see what we think. Oh yes, before we get going, we must do a sound test. And also, I'm going to attempt to use the Kickstarter. Right, see if I can do it. Right, we're in neutral, and now I don't really know the proper technique of kickstarting. I know you've got to sort of press it down in the compression and all that, and there's a thing to listen or feel for, and I don't know what any of that is, so... Oh, almost. Right. Honestly, I did try this off camera earlier and I got it first go. I'm not lying, that is the truth. There we go. I did it. Okay. Sound test, I'll record with this as well. Yeah, that's a long old exhaust, that is. Right. It's the seating position is actually taller than you might expect. Because I was expecting that I'd fit on this and it'll be all good. But as soon as I sat on the seat, it feels like you're quite tall up on it. It is very upright. Okay, so specs, if I haven't put them up on the screen already, nothing to get excited about, to be honest. It produces a whopping 27 brake horsepower, I believe it is, with 41 newton meters of torque. So yeah, it's certainly not punchy or anything like that. So yeah, it's a bit bumpy. that was the rev limiter. I'm not sure whether it limits on the revs, but it didn't sound very high to me. But you'd expect that on this sort of thing. Obviously, I've never ridden this sort of bike before, and I'm used to like the higher torque sort of things, like the Triumphs, and yeah, my GPZ. It's, you know, it's a little bit sporty. You know, most of the bikes I've ridden, they're all modern and they are sort of designed to have some good performance. This isn't really designed that way. I think this is more built for reliability. I believe this is like the main bike that they use out in India now, Royal Enfield. Probably this, yeah, this same classic model. I'm sure if you've watched that Our Guy in India with Guy Martin, yeah, they talk about it all in that. So yeah, these are quite a thing over in India. I think mainly because of how reliable they are, and I suppose how simple they are. I imagine it's you know, dead easy to fix one of these if you need to. But yeah, they're far from blowing your mind with power or anything like that. Single cylinder, this engine is very vibey. I don't know if that is a sort of thing that you get with all single cylinders, but yeah, the vibrations on this are they're bad. It's in my hands, in my fingers, in my feet, just everywhere. The vibrations travel. It's quite a lot. So yeah, it's the feel of this bike is certainly authentic. Unlike with Triumph, you get the looks of an old school, retro, classic, whatever, but you get the performance, the smoothness, and all that sort of stuff of a new modern machine. This feels, yeah, if I didn't know any better, I would say this is a 1950s motorcycle. I would never believe that the engine in this thing is a modern electronic fuel injection engine. Oh no, they've gravelled my favourite road. Oh, you arsehole. How fast will it actually go? There's still some power there. We're touching 70, but it's not quite getting there. I'm not sure what the official top speed is. But yeah, it did seem to be running out of legs around about 70. So yeah, it's certainly a machine for pootling. Definitely not for hooning. Now the brakes, they're all quite modern, so they do feel quite good. In fact, when we're in this flat spot here, and there's nothing behind me, we'll do a quick feel of them. So yeah, the brakes work. It will slow you down a lot quicker than it can accelerate. I'm sorry, this video is probably going to upset a lot of Royal Enfield fans. I'm sorry. This is just my personal opinion on this machine. Bear in mind, I've had no experience on one of these in the past before, so a lot of the things I'm saying are probably a load of nonsense. But I'm just saying how it feels to me. Right, let's go for it. 60. Top gear. Bit of a downhill boost. Actually, it has to be said, once it's up to speed, it handles quite well around the corners and stuff. It does corner quite well. It just takes a while to sort of get there, if you know what I mean. You're going to get between maybe 70 and 80 miles an hour tops out of this. I mean, maybe if you're on the motorway or something, you had a long enough bit of road, you could probably keep it going. It'll probably carry on going a bit. So yeah, I don't know what the official top speed figure is, but I imagine it's going to be somewhere around 75, 80 miles an hour. So yeah, on a motorway, once you get up to speed, you should be okay, but whether it will go any more than that, it does seem like you'd need a lot of road to get up to flux capacitor kind of speeds, if you know what I mean. But, like I said before, it's not really designed for speed, is it? And like I said earlier, I've never really ridden any proper old motorbikes, so I don't really know how an old bike feels to ride, how the engine performs and things like that. I imagine this is going to give me a pretty good idea. So if you're maybe a born-again biker, maybe you've just retired, you've got some money to spend on a motorcycle, and you want to go back to the good old days, how they used to be, then I'm sure this will capture the spirit of early motorbikes. That's the feel I get from it. And the price tag on this thing, yeah, I mean, it's probably the cheapest machine I've ridden. So, would I have one of these? I don't think so, to be honest. No, it's not for me. Don't get me wrong, I love the looks, but I also like the performance that comes with my Triumph. So yeah, my opinion on this then, yeah, this will appeal to, I'd say to the older generation. I can't see younger people getting into this because, you know, when you're young, you want some bang, you know, you want some performance, you want some punch. But this unfortunately won't deliver on that. So it's certainly, yeah, the majority of young people I don't think this will appeal to. But certainly the older generation who know more about this sort of thing, then yeah, I'm sure it would appeal nicely to those. So anyway, that's my opinions on it. If you're an Enfield fan, please don't be too offended. I know there's a couple of people that have said, try an Enfield. Well, I have now. It's probably not the one you wanted me to try, but it's the only one of these CMW motorcycles, Suzuki in Chichester, right here. It's the only one they had. Come on, neutral.